What Makes a Good President by Jose, Brittany, and me. Our representative is Dean Phillips. And something you know about Dean Phillips, he is part of the Democratic Party. He's a representative for Minnesota's 3rd Congressional District. He's a businessman, owns a family business, and it's called Phillips Distilling Company. He's advocated for finance reform and government transparency, and he's the vice-ranking member of the House Small Business Committee and ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Middle East, Northern Africa, and Central Asia Subcommittee. Phillips goals: he wants to stop the shady influence of special interest money in our politics. He wants to bring a collaborative government in Washington and he benefits people as there are more people coming together to work in Washington for the people and stop corrupt officials. Chief Executive. For starters, the job of a chief executive and administrators is to be responsible for all federal and state departments such as NASA. With executive privilege, they are able to create and modify laws when needed and appoint ambassadors, judges of the Supreme Court, and other officers of the United States. A good chief executive needs good communication in order to keep all federal departments in check. They must also have good decision-making skills and leadership to keep departments moving and be the main point person. After hearing from struggling small business owners in the summer of 2020, Dean Phillips wrote the Paycheck Protection Program Flexibility Act with Texas Republican Chip Roy, signed into law by President Trump. This critical piece of legislation helps small businesses keep their doors open and save thousands of Americans' jobs. This action demonstrates good decision-making skills, making him a somewhat good candidate for president, giving him an A-. Chief Diplomat. The job of a chief diplomat is to carry out negotiations with foreign leaders. This can be negotiations, treaties, such as those to cease fire. They are also able to receive and give aid to those countries that need it. Two qualifying needed are foreign discipline and awareness. A good candidate must have strong interpersonal and communication skills that help to navigate discussions with foreign powers and help build relations with other countries, as well as culture sensitivity. Dean Phillips is a ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Middle East, as previously stated. He has criticized Democrats about the southern border, saying that the circumstances at our southern border, and which I visited twice, are a good example where I believe Democrats have not done the job. He has separately called the border an unmitigated, embarrassing, inexcusable disaster. He has also recently traveled to Israel in hopes of bringing a ceasefire on both ends of the disaster and to find a way to gather any U.S. citizens that are currently endangered to prevent any further issues. These actions prove the ability to negotiate with foreign leaders and improve any lackluster problems that deal with both the United States and other countries, making him a qualified chief diplomat. That gives him an A for chief diplomat. Next, commander-in-chief. As the president, being the commander-in-chief means that they are in charge of both naval and army forces, allowing them to make decisions that he would deem to be in favor of protecting our country, such as ordering missions, finding an individual, and using nuclear codes. Readiness and smarts are needed to be the commander-in-chief in order for them to be organized and understand foreign affairs, as well as be prepared for any potential threats or tough decisions. In Dean Phillips' case, there are very few examples of him doing any features remotely close. The closest he's come is by sponsoring a bill that would give the U.S. more authority to monitor foreign military and organizations, which came after speculations of China spying on U.S. territory. But again, besides this, there isn't much he's done. That's why we're giving him D- for Commander-in-Chief. Next is the Guardian of Economy. With being president comes being guardian of the economy, meaning they must present a national budget and economy for Congress to approve it. In order to effectively manage the economy, a good candidate must be able to manage and promote economic stability for the country and analyze data with a vast understanding of the country's economics. Considering Phillips' award, such as being named a fiscal hero by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, and was recognized for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce with the Jefferson Hamilton Award for bipartisanship in the 116th and 117th Congress. It can be argued that Dean Phillips would be a good candidate for guardian of the economy. He has also raised and given back almost 40 million to his people and home state of Minnesota. However, there is a problem that gets brought up when thinking of Dean Phillips. Just like Joe Biden, he doesn't mind sending large amounts of money to countries who are in war to support them. Many citizens in the country are not in favor of that as it messes with the economy and don't see if it is reasonable to send money to a country whose problems are not ours. With that, for guardian of the economy, we give Dean Phillips a C. Next, chief legislator. As chief legislator, the president must either approve or veto laws passed by Congress, uh, sorry, as well as execute them. In order to execute this role effectively, the president must have a great understanding of the legislative process as well as have great strategic thinking while being great with negotiations and compromise. For the most part, there's no clear evidence of whether or not Dean Phillips would be a good chief legislator because he's not exactly in the position to do pass a law or veto a law. However, what is clear is that through his career, he has proposed many bills, and in 2023 alone, he proposed 51 bills, with 8 being passed and the rest still being processed. This could be an indicator of Phillips wanting to improve the nation and passing many beneficial bills if he does win the office. It's still very unclear, so he's going to get an average grade of B for chief legislator. Lastly, the chief of state. The role of the chief of state is a president serving as public face and figurehead of the country. The chief state must be a symbolic figure for the nation and represent the nation when needed, while helping with diplomatic and international relations. They must also have great leadership and public speaking skills, helpful for public showings like the State of the Union address. Dean Phillips has spoken publicly before and seems to execute his speeches very well. For example, he stated, "I don't think the government, and I certainly don't think men, should have any say on what a woman does with her body, period," at a town hall. He has also stated and advocated for free healthcare in the United States, stating that, "I believe it's time to make the moral decisions to ensure every American has affordable, high quality healthcare, regardless of their age, condition, geography, or ability to pay." This is a great job of making sure that people all across the country can support you, even if they aren't part of the same party, and can bring some unity amongst everyone. In this case, we give him an A for chief of state. There. Let's review. What has Dean Phillips done? He signed a Paycheck Protection Program Flexibility Act helping small businesses. He's spoken out against his own party due to horrible circumstances of southern border. He proposed a more responsible federal budget, and he proposed a better and more affordable healthcare system. Would Dean Phillips make a good president in this case? Well, he is a man who cares about the country and community, as we can see, with giving back to his home state and community of Minnesota. He's also a family man, which is a good indicator as, he's going to care for everyone just as much as he cares for his family. Obviously, a little less. He cares for the country, obviously, because he stresses for protection of nation and advocates for stronger security, just like how he stated that he wants to make an improved border, but still give access to people that want a better opportunity out of the country. And he also attempts to pass multiple bills to improve any cracks in our structure, which is another indicator of him wanting to make the country a better place and give any laws that will do that. And something that's not seen is he's not afraid to disagree even with his own party. He supported Biden in his his past election. However, in the past few years, he has disagreed with many things that Biden has done, and he's not been afraid to say so publicly. And he appears to be better with funds than current presidents, even though I did say that he agrees with sending money to other countries. He's also smarter with it, and he's shown to do that. So, what would we give him as a president if he were to become part of the office? We'd give him a B. Thank you. Bye-bye.